Hello there. Welcome back to The Legend of Pirates Online. God damn it. I was feeling confident that it wouldn't crash, because normally the game likes to crash when you do anything to tab out of it, right? So I was feeling confident because I was trying to boot this up while I was doing the whole set of everything else up thing, which means I had it open in the background. The fact that I got to the main game and was able to move around a little bit while the stream was running was a good sign. And I tab out just so I can change the stream to this screen and tab back in, and it crashes. The stability on this game needs some work. Anyway, while I get us booted back in, welcome to The Legend of Pirates Online. Last week we played Yu-Gi-Oh! So this is an every other week kind of thing. It's not a daily thing. It never was a daily thing. What am I talking about? It was never a week. It's no longer a weekly thing. It's a fortnightly thing. But yeah, that said, let's hope we'll be fine this time. We are gonna do some fishing. Because, well, thing is, this character, I only ever play with her on stream. And what do I do on stream? Mostly questing, you know? I'm trying to work my way through the quest lines so I can level up and get all the other stuff. I don't do the other stuff, you know? The game has a lot more to it than questing. Sure, there's not a whole lot of exploration necessarily. You can explore, but you don't really get rewarded for it necessarily. So, yeah, but there are mini games, you know? Or if you want to just ignore the quest and just go sailing and trying to sink ships so you can get rare materials for improving your ships, that's also an option. There's a lot of stuff you can do that aren't just doing quests, because this is an MMO. If you want to do grinding, you can do grinding. If you want to make money doing jobs and stuff, well, not jobs like you'd find in, I'm sure, Final Fantasy 14 might have jobs or something. I don't know. I think I hear people talk about that. It doesn't have those kinds of jobs, but it does have the ship repair stuff outside of the dockyard. So that's a thing. But yeah, there's potion crafting, there's, well, fishing, which is what we're gonna do some today. Mostly because, yeah, well, here's the real reason. Number one, just because I'm curious, what were we even working on before? So there's that. Were we doing this quest? Are we really working on that quest? Ah, yeah, the excavation. Yeah, Yeah, so we might be doing this one. Where's Lucinda? Lucinda is... She's on either Tortuga or Port Royal. She's not on Padres, though. I'm pretty sure she's not on Padres anyway. That doesn't matter though, because we're gonna do some fishing. Which means we're gonna be in podcast mode. Like, just kinda, you don't have to watch. There's no expectation for you to watch, just have the stream on in the background, do whatever it is you need to do, you know, like homework, work, play your own game, whatever, just lurk and listen, and we're going full podcast mode. Now, there are two types of fishing we could do right now. We could just, you know, boot up the good old fishing mini game right here at the docks. Or there's a second option. Before I go to that second option, let me just make sure my inventory is as clear as I want it to be. Yeah, I'm hanging on to that stuff for cosmetic purposes. Alright, yeah, so, whoop. Never mind. I was gonna say we could launch a fishing boat, but no, I don't think we can yet. Hello, Sabrina! Thank you for the sub! 2 months in a row, nice, hello. Okay, yeah, we're only level 5 fishing. That's fine. And I don't think we have the lure to go deep yet, do we? I do know we want to be avoiding those. Come on. Oh yeah, that's a good sign. Okay, so we do have the well, not the deep lure, but you know what I mean, like the medium. Not lure. Lure's not the right word. Line? Fishing rod. Whatever. We got the medium thingy. I want you. So let's... There we go. Alright. Yeah, like... So... Right. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this, apart from the fact that we just don't do it much and it's fun, is... I was playing on my main character, and I've been doing that a lot lately. And that character is a pretty decently high level, you know, I think mid-30s, high 30s, something like that. I think I'm getting close to level 40. And you know, I've got basically all the top tier stuff now. I've unlocked every single weapon, including the voodoo staff. I've got a war brig, and I've finally given it a single upgrade. But all that said, that character's fishing skill is, well, it's higher now, but that's because I did a lot of grinding with it. But I basically, at that point, I figured, you know, I want to do some of the Raven's Cove quest line, because, you know, I'm above level 30. I finally have my voodoo staff, and Raven's Cove, I believe, unlocks at level 20. Actually, we could easily find that out. Okay, first cool doll. All right, it is worth something, so we'll keep. Yeah, Raven's Cove. Well, actually, I guess we can't find out because just because the quest unlocks for us doesn't mean it's in our journal. We have to actually go to Raven's Cove to get it. Point being, the Raven's Cove quest line comes with some really good rewards. I believe there's a little guaranteed legendary drop. It's either a guaranteed legendary drop or a guaranteed fame drop. But either way, you can get a really good weapon. And so, you know, you want to do Raven's Cove if you can. And one of the quests that I was doing was a fishing quest. It's like, you have to catch like 10 tuna or something like that. But this quest line has optional objectives too. So, you know, there is the catch 10 tuna, whatever. The optional objective, however, and if you do the optional objective you get an additional reward, is to catch a legendary fish. Now I can't actually remember how to do that, is the thing. All I know is you need to have a high enough fishing skill. It's possible you need to have max fishing skill? But, like, either way, you need to have... All I know is that you definitely need to have your fishing skill be high enough to where you have the lure that can go deep enough to catch, like, you know, the sharks and whatnot. Besides that, I don't actually really know how to catch one other than, like... Well, I know you also have to use the legendary lures, which you have to buy separately from the regular lures. That's all I know. I can't remember if there's like an actual restriction on when or how you can acquire a legendary fish. I know it's not easy. I know they put up a big fight, but yeah. Point being though, while I don't know the exact specifics of like what conditions you need to meet in order to catch a legendary fish, I do know you need to have a high enough fishing skill. Oh, look at that sailor doll. Okay, so it's a spirit doll, which isn't great because spirit dolls don't actually mean anything to me. Tell you what, I'll keep it for now. Because you never know, some instance might come up at some point in which you do wish you had a spirit doll. I can't think of a single instance, but it's possible. But yeah, no. Point being, I want to catch a legendary fish, and to do that, I need to level up my fishing skill. And I kind of noticed and realized, if I want to do that for that character, I need to do that with this character too, because if this character also needs to meet those requirements, just for the sake of like future questing and stuff, like if I choose to do Raven's Cove in the future, well, I need to do stuff besides just like questing, because questing will not level up my fishing skill. Only fishing will do that. Alright, let's try to catch this. Is that a lionfish, I believe it's called? Yes. But, anyway, lionfish are like the rare kind of medium tier fish. Yeah, it's a lionfish, good. Yeah, like you want to catch the rarer fish, because they're the ones that come with good stuff. But yeah, I mean, fishing comes with good stuff too. You know, like, there's obviously the XP. You know, every bit of XP you get off of fishing goes to your character's level. You also get gold. Every single fish you catch, even the lowly yellow tang, which is the shittiest fish in the entire universe, even the yellow tang gives you gold for catching it. And it's not a tiny amount of gold either. I mean, the yellow tang is, but see that tuna we just caught? Gave us 22 gold. So that's kind of what we're working with here, is like, you know, you get money off of fishing, you get XP off of fishing, and then finally you get loot off of fishing. If you're lucky. Mostly it's crappy loot, but you do get loot occasionally. Surprisingly, a lot of dolls. I'm not sure if there's a reason for that necessarily. Like, maybe the lore in this universe is like a lot of people throw their dolls in the sea and fish eat them. I don't know. But they do tend to come with a lot of dolls. You do sometimes get knives too. I think dolls are the most common, knives might be second most common. After that, it may be guns? But point being, you don't really see anything other than dolls off the fish. Oh, this one's putting up a big fight. There we go, and we level up. Now we can heal the line. That is a very important ability. Being able to use a healing skill to replenish our health. That's good stuff. And yeah, we're up to level 6 fishing already. Yeah, I mean, as with most things in this game, I believe every single thing in this game, leveling up something a few times, you know, the early times, is easy. It's such a breeze, goes by so fast. Leveling up in the late levels, so like going from 19 to 20, is not as easy. You know, you get exponentially more and more grinding if the higher level you are. I'm not finding anything special here, and a lot of these fish seem to be hanging out towards the top-ish, so yeah, hanging in the bottom isn't really giving us much. Also, I did prematurely use the heal. But there we go. We did it. And we got an ugly voodoo doll for our effort. That one we trashed. So yeah. How's everyone doing? Holy shit. The week is over halfway over. That's weird to think about. I suppose that's always the case for these streams, though. Like, my Wednesday streams are always at the end of Wednesday, meaning the week is already halfway, like over halfway over, but still, you know, I'm not always fully aware of it, and yeah, it's just like, I only got 2 more days of work before the weekend. Sadly, I'm gonna have to push through like the entire month of June without taking any days off apart from my weekends. Because the month of June doesn't seem to have any national holidays. How sad. And on top of that, I only have like 4 vacation days left in my fiscal year, so I'm gonna have to save that as well. Okay, we already have a Witch Doctor doll. Cool. So yeah, I'm gonna have to save those. But I think I can do it, right? It's just a month. It's just a month. And then I can finally have maybe a little bit more relaxation in July. Because July is also where summer break is going to happen. Yeah, summer break. 5 days off in a row. Jeez. I would kill for that right now. I mean, that's kind of already what I got off of Golden Week. Which was a month ago. Jesus. Oh, God. Time is flying so fast. But yeah. Work. We live in a society where we have to work for a living, and it's kind of bullshit. Like, you're telling me that in order to survive because you need money for survival. You need money in order to be able to like buy food and buy all sorts of other stuff, you know, like housing and whatnot. Put clothes on your back. You need money to survive. But how do you get money? Well, spend 40 hours a week on doing something you don't want to do. Great! And I just have to do that for the rest of my life now, do I? Just 40 hours a week of my life that I just never get back, just so that I can exist on this world? Like, that seems hardly fair. But whatever. It is what it is. We live in a society, capitalism sucks. But to celebrate the midweek, I have with me some melon punch. Hang on, I'm gonna wait for me to catch this fish before I check what the drink is. It's melon punch flavored. Awesome. It's melon punch flavored. Well, it doesn't actually say. I would assume it's Strong Zero, but I think it's a slightly different brand from Strong Zero. Point being, it's an alcoholic drink, and it's melon punch flavored, because it was a new flavor. Presumably for, like, it's not summer yet, but it's like late spring. In fact, summer's almost already here. Summer's, like, not too far away. Yeah. This year's flying by. Which is honestly good. Like, because I kinda wanna go home. I've been here for... Well, at this point... Fuck. Didn't want to catch the yellow tang. I mean, I guess I have to now. Yep. See, this is why yellow tangs are the worst. You only get 10 XP, and... I don't think it's possible to get over 5 gold off of a single one. Maybe you can... if you're lucky, but point being, they're not good. You get basically nothing from yellow tangs. But anyway. Yeah, at this point... Ooh, lionfish. At this point, I have been in Japan for my longest time ever being abroad. Because I came here back in... Okay, this is a Mojo doll. Okay, yeah, we can sell this one easy. Great. Attack 12, attack 15, Wind Guard, and Hex Ward. Yeah, we'll just sell the straw doll. But anyway, yeah, this is the longest I've ever been abroad consecutively. Because I came in early October. It is now early June. What does that put me at? 8 months now? I think 8 months. Most I've ever done, not including the time I was a baby. Because I don't remember that time. because I was 1. But yeah, longest time in my memory that I've ever been abroad. Consecutive. Because what times do I have in my memory bank here? Well, earliest in my memory would be first time I remember being in Japan, which was like 6 years old. And that time was about 6 months. It was a 6 months of my dad teaching a semester here. And then, yeah, and that was in spring. Then, after that was Mexico, and that hardly counts at all because I was only there for like a couple weeks, I think. I honestly don't really remember Mexico all that much. Then, okay, this isn't necessarily going to be in chronological order. Might be closer like geographical order or something. Then there was Canada, and that was another summer trip, and again, I hardly call that as like me actually being to Canada. It was kind of just like we were driving through as part of a road trip. So after, that was Canada. Spain was a big one. Spain was 6 months. During Spain, we did visit Portugal, but like our hub, our living area was in Madrid. Then, so yeah, that was another 6 months living abroad. Then, let's see, oh shit, I need to focus. Yeah, this thing's gonna steal my lure if I'm not careful. Okay. Then in high school, I took a summer tourist trip that was 2 weeks long to, well, frankly, it was like some of the most touristy areas in Europe. We just kind of started in London and took a tour bus all the way down to Paris. It was nice. I slept a lot. Jet lag. I didn't really fully adjust to it during that entire time, so I just kind of like, anytime I was on a moving vehicle, which was any time we were moving at all, which was like the entire trip, I just kind of fell asleep, which is a little frustrating because I like looking at countryside and stuff. I'm gonna see if I can catch this lionfish with this one. I like looking at countryside and stuff when we're driving by, and most of the countryside I'm used to is American countryside, like Midwestern stuff. Okay, I guess we are stuck with tuna then. Yeah, like cornfields for miles and miles and miles on end. Like, heck, even further out west from Illinois is vaguely interesting to me because it's just something that I'm less used to. Like Nebraska. Sure, Nebraska is maybe like not the most interesting thing to look at, but for me, it's like, okay, it's like cornfields, but they're different cornfields, like not the ones that I'm used to. If you get that, like, it's like, I know the cornfields in my area, and these are different cornfields. Growing up in the Midwest has done stuff to me. But yeah, and then there's Iowa. Iowa's great. Like, because Iowa has a lot of hills. It's basically Illinois, but with hills. Then, yeah. Fucking kidding me? That yellow tang sniped me. Also, it's gonna be annoying. These are really not worth the effort to catch. But anyway, yeah, no, back to my story. That was just a little bit tangent there. Yeah, back to the story. I like countryside. I like looking at the scenery of countryside as you're... Oh, here we go, lionfish. Oh, are you kidding me? You bitch. Yeah, I like looking at countryside. It's one of the reasons why I like Euro Truck Simulator, because like, I don't know, road trips are interesting. They can get very exhausting if you're on the road for too long. Don't get me wrong. Like, they're not the best. If, like, sometimes they're great. Just kind of depends on your company. Heck, you could be on your own and just like, it's just you, whatever podcast you put on, and the open road. Like, that's kind of great. But besides that, like, yeah, just road trips are interesting and fun because you can just like look out the window at the countryside as it drives on by. And so when I go to other places, like other countries especially, I want to look at the countryside there because it's a very different countryside than what I'm used to in Illinois. So, ooh, there's a lionfish we can get. So when I'm in Europe, of course, that's a huge change of scenery for me. I am all about the European scenery. Like, Western Europe is pretty fantastic countryside. Like, it's like a picture. Heck, oh man, the most picturesque countryside I remember though was Tuscany. But that's later on in the story. We're still talking about me being drowsy and sleeping a lot on the bus in France and UK and me being disappointed in it. But yeah. Apart from that, apart from all this, yeah, that was only about 2 weeks. Fast forward to... yeah, then there was Italy. Italy was a 1 month? I think it was 1 month. It was a 1 month study abroad course. Technically it was 2 courses. In college. So I studied abroad in Italy for a month, and it was basically me living in Siena. And like, you know, I had an apartment, I had roommates in that apartment, I just kind of got to know the city, and that was kind of the main point of the course was, like, sure, there was a lot of history stuff. This was a history study abroad. Alright, let's go sell some stuff. Like, sure, it was history, but there's... It was most... like, the most of it was about the feel, right? What am I going all the way back here for? I can just sell to him, right? I'm pretty sure I can just sell to him. So, yeah, there was history. Point being, I'm not gonna get anywhere if I just keep trying to say things. So, to speed my story along, point being, I'm very confused. Zombie doll, value 1. Clay doll, value 1. Faded sea chart, value 1. Total gold value 4. Huh? What I'm thinking is there's probably some lower than 1 values to assign to each of these. So like the zombie doll could be like technically it could be technically 1.5, but it only shows up as value 1 because it rounds it down. And clay doll is also probably like 1.5 or something. And so that also rounds it down. I'm assuming that's how that's working. But anyway, yeah, Italy was fun. I loved Italy, but that was only about a month. Then my study abroad in Japan, which was, okay, so the last time I'd been abroad, frankly at all, but just long-term in general, was, well, yeah, the last time I had been abroad, okay, not including the study abroad, the Italy study abroad. Last time I'd been abroad was the high school trip to, like, England and France. So that doesn't really, yeah. Last time I'd been abroad long term was Spain, which was junior high. So fast forward several years, all the way through high school and into my junior year of college. That's the time difference that we're working with here between Spain and my study abroad in Japan. The Japan study abroad was an interesting one because that was so technically the study abroad itself was 3 months, or more like 3.5 months, I think, but I kind of stretched it out to 4 months because my family wanted to visit me. Yeah, my family wanted to visit me while I was there. And so they took a trip towards the end of, well, like after my study abroad was over, basically. Like, they made sure to show up on the day that my term was officially over. And yeah, we just kind of hung out for a couple weeks? Was it 2 weeks? Yeah, I think it was about 2 weeks. And that was fun. Point being, that was 4 months. 4 months here in Japan. And that was fun. That was nice. Not my longest time abroad, though, at the time. That was still Spain. Or the first time in Japan, because they were both 6 months. Now, today, I am currently living in my longest time abroad ever. It's 8 months. 8 months. I got here on like the 3rd? I want to say it was October 3rd. And how long has it been since then? Well, 6 months plus 2. Yep, 8 months total. It has been 8 months since my last hug. And it's probably gonna be a lot longer. Because, like, okay, my family has mentioned hopes of visiting me this summer. I'm gonna be totally honest. I do not see it happen. Like, COVID has screwed so much stuff up, and the fact that basically Japan still fully acknowledges the pandemic is a thing, and everyone here is masking, everyone here is being careful. Meanwhile, in the West, in the US, and like, you know, various parts of Europe and just like all that, they're pretending it's over. They're pretending the pandemic is no more and we can all go about our daily lives because everyone just hates having to wear masks. Everyone hates it. Everyone hates not being able to party every single night or whatever it is college kids do these days. Oh, they all hate it. So, instead of just being normal, upstanding citizens who just like, you know, if we all work together, this can be over. So the thing is, eradication is incredibly unlikely. Even assuming everyone cooperated to their fullest possibility. Oh, that's a very rare fish. I'm gonna catch that one. Yeah, even if everyone cooperated to their fullest potential, the chances of eradication are very low. But it could be under control. We could have, like, maybe 1,000 global cases a day instead of, what are we at, like the millions or something? I don't know. Point being, people are dumb. COVID still exists. You cannot just declare law like, well, the pandemic's over. No one has to wear masks anymore. It's like, no. That is not how any of this works. We got a freebooter C chart. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I forgot that was another common thing that fish like to drop is sea charts. But, yeah. Western world just hates the idea of having to wear masks. And don't get me wrong, like, it would be nice to not have to wear a mask everywhere I go. Like, I'm not disputing that. But wishing for it isn't gonna make it happen. Just being like, you know what, we've been doing this a few years, it's probably fine. It's like, no. That attitude is why it's still going. Yeah. Just... it's frustrating. Let's change the subject. Back to the main point I was getting at is like, yeah, family kind of wants to visit me this summer. I don't see it happening. If we're lucky, I might get a visit from them. If we're lucky. And if I do, I'll finally get a hug I've been desperately craving for several months. If I don't, like, yeah, if they don't end up being able to come here, I will simply have to endure. But anyway, how about the Mets? How are the Mets doing, everyone? It's all about the Mets. No, it's actually all about Morgan. It's Morbin time, baby. I love it when he says that line in the movie. But yeah. We're making decent progress. We started our fishing at level 5 and we're already up to level 7, almost to level 8. Yeah. I wasn't keeping track of how much money we're making off this either, but we're making bank, I'm sure. You know what? This is also going to help us afford a war brig. Because, what do we have right now? Pretty sure it's just a war galleon, right? Don't think we have a war brig or even a war frigate. So, yeah, if we just save up our money and keep fishing, we'll get there eventually. Yeah. In other news... okay, those are kind of the same thing. In other news... well, I kind of got tired of having such suffocatingly little storage space on this laptop. Like, it was so low that Destiny 2, a game that I cannot fathom how, but somehow in the past I was able to have enough storage space on here to have that down. And then I don't fully know what happened between then and now, because I downloaded, so I uninstalled that to make room for various other games that I wanted to stream. Like, I uninstalled it so I could have Sea of Thieves for that collab back during my subathon, which was 2 months ago at this point. Jesus. Yeah, so there's that. Then a month later, I wanted to play Jedi Fallen Order for the 24-hour stream, and that was another big game, so I downloaded that one too. And now, somehow, like, all I really did was swap around those 3 games, and yet for whatever reason, despite the fact that I uninstalled those games, I just don't have space on my hard drive anymore for Destiny 2. Technically it's not a hard drive, technically it's an SSD, but yada yada yada. Tomato, potato, like... I'm just using terminology that I'm used to for the sake of talking about storage on my computer. And that is hard drive. I just use hard drive as a overall term to describe where you store things. Alright, we can now stall the lure in the water longer. Cool, we're up to level 8 fishing. But yeah, just somehow, somewhere between then and now, I just lost the ability to have room on my hard drive for Destiny 2, in spite of the fact that I don't think I really did that much additional fluff. Like, unless Uplay is Ubisoft's thing, right? No, they renamed it, didn't they? It's Ubisoft Connect now. Yeah, unless Ubisoft Connect and Origin, that's EA's launcher, unless those 2 launchers take up a ton of space, which is very incredibly possible, yeah, I didn't really install all that much in between then and now. I guess I have like 2 additional Paradox games. Because it used to be that the only Paradox game installed on my hard drive was Crusader Kings 3. And then I downloaded Heart of Iron 4, because I kind of was in a mood to get back into that game and try to learn it. And then I kind of got in the mood for Stellaris, because, well, I ended up playing Stellaris with Felly one day, and that kind of just made me want to keep playing it. So I have all 3 of those Paradox games installed on my hard drive. And, like, sure, they take up some space, but are they really all that big? Because I looked at the requirements for those games, and none of them take up so... Like, what I'm saying is, like, even if I were to uninstall every single one of those games, I still wouldn't have enough space on my hard drive for Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is a fucking big game. It's too big for its own good. But yeah, point being, I had no space for Destiny 2, and I wanted it. It's been too long since I last played, and there are a few people that I like to play it with. So yeah, it's about time for me to reinstall. Yeah, those are the same dagger. But I had no space. So, last weekend, I ordered an external hard drive. That's, again, me using my own brain's terminology for stuff like this. Technically, it's an SSD. But yeah, I bought an external hard drive. And this is an interesting one. Because, like, the way I always presume, like, and I always picture an external hard drive to function is basically, it's a hard drive that is like, well, think of it as like a brick. Like, it's just kind of a brick that sits there, and you plug it in, and there you go. Okay, here's what I visualize. It's kind of like having a docked switch. You know, I visualize it taking up that much space, and I visualize it basically being something that you can plug in or unplug at your leisure, whatever, but, like, point being, that's what an external hard drive is in my mind. This one, however, the one that I got, it's like, I did not mean to use heel line there. It's like a flash drive, essentially. Like, think of a flash drive. Now make it a little bit bulkier, because annoyingly this SSD plugin is so bulky that, like, I cannot fit it anywhere on any of my USB slots while there's anything plugged into one of the adjacent slots. Like, on the left side of my computer, I have 2 USB slots, and on one side of one of the USB slots is the headphone jack. If I want my headphones plugged in, which they're almost always plugged in, I cannot use that USB slot, the one that's next to it, because the thing is so bulky that it just can't get into the hole when there's something sticking out of the nearby hole. Same goes with the other USB slot, because it can't get plugged in if there's anything plugged into that adjacent USB slot. Fuck, I didn't mean to, I meant to dupe you. And I just have a lot of things that use USB that are constantly plugged in, like my cooling pad and my mouse, for instance. Also my mic. My mic isn't always plugged in, I only really plug it in when I need it, but it's there, and it's something I use regularly. And those are several USB things that I have plugged in, and I have a USB hub that is... yeah, it's just a thing that exists so that I can have all these things that require USBs plugged into my laptop, which only has 3 USB slots. So that's on one side. On the other side of my computer, I have a third USB slot. The problem with that slot is it is next to the HDMI port, which is what I need if I'm going to be using the Switch at all. Because I'm basically like, anytime I use the Switch these days, I just kind of leave it plugged in and docked into my computer because I do not have a TV. So my laptop is my only like screen, or my only big screen, I should say. I've got smaller screens, you know, I've got the Switch itself, I've got my phone. But no, the laptop is the biggest screen that I have. And so if I'm going to be playing a docked Switch game, particularly one that requires me to be standing up and moving around, so I can't just use the Switch proper, it has to be docked into something. In those cases, yeah, I need the HDMI cable. So that alone is one predicament. The other predicament is the fact that I just kind of have stuff in the way on the right side of my computer. Like, I have whatever drink I'm drinking. I have my microphone. I have, like, various other things. Alright, go away. I want the lionfish. So, yeah, I can't use that slot either. But at the same time, it may be the only slot that I can use. Frankly, what I might need is another USB hub. I know that's really weird to say, but like, my one USB hub simply isn't enough. And it's a very compact USB hub. It's something that's supposed to be portable, which works for my laptop, you know? Although, technically, originally I got it for my desktop, but that still, like, my desktop only had so much space because I didn't really have a desk back home. But either way, you know, the USB hub that I have is kind of small and compact. So, like, even if I do plug various things into it, the bulky USB stick that I have for my SSD is kind of too bulky to be plugged in at the same time as various other adjacent things. Alright, have a good night, Sabrina. I hope you sleep well. Or, I guess, day. Technically, it's day for you at this point, isn't it? But, yeah, sleep well. Thank you for hanging out. So, yeah, I'll have to figure something out. That's the bad news regarding the SSD. The good news is I have an SSD. Now, I haven't actually tested it. I do know that I can download games onto it. That's like step one, is can I download a game onto it? Oh, by the way, I don't think I mentioned how big the storage on this thing is. It's 1 terabyte. So I have a 1 terabyte SSD, USB, like, kind of flash drive kind of thing. Yeah. So I've got 1 terabyte of storage, which that alone is more storage than my laptop has internally, which is kind of very sad. It's more than quadruple the storage. Because the actual, well, okay, technically I think I saw that the SSD has, it's technically not even 1 terabyte. It's like 900 something gigs. Because a terabyte is like 1,000, it's a little bit over 1,000. It's not a perfect, like, scale up. But either way, it's still a lot more than I have, you know? Then on top of that, I have, what else? Where was I going with that statement? I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. We're in podcast mode, except it's podcast mode of I don't have a script and I'm just kind of going on whatever tangent I feel like at the moment. Yeah, having this SSD, I need to give it like an actual test drive to see how it goes. Also, just generally speaking, like, I'm hoping I don't want to put too much strain on my laptop. And generally speaking, I mostly want the Steam Deck. Because once I get a Steam Deck, it's going to be a whole different story in terms of, like, both storage and intensity of what things I can run. Because here's the thing. My mind is now whirring with all the possibilities of the fact that I have a lot more storage on hand than I used to. So what do I do with all the storage space? Well, generally save it, because, like, I'm probably gonna need it at some point or another in the future. Like, 1 terabyte does fill up super fast. But here's the other thing. Like, okay. There's a few other games that I do kind of want, and I've been putting off installing them just because of, like, yeah, just because of how much space I did not have. And so, what some of those games are, well, there's 2 in particular, at least that I can think of right now, that I really want. There is The Elder Scrolls Online. Now that one is a little bit in the middle because I don't know how much of it is like I actively want to get back into the game and how much of it is I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of stuff because I still have quite a ways to go with that game. Like, there's so much untouched stuff in that game, and I haven't even got to any of the DLCs yet. Or, I guess, expansions. Yeah, I haven't got to any expansions yet. So, what does that mean for... Yeah, I don't know. But I suppose now that I have all this extra storage, I can just download it. I don't know how big the game is, but it's not small. Then on top of ESO, there's one other game that I want to download and get back into playing, is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That one I was actually having a lot of fun with back home. I could only play it on my main desktop computer back home though. So, yeah, my options were very limited with that one. Alright, now, awesome, our pull to ability. Yeah, what was I saying? Right, Valhalla. I've had fun with Valhalla. I just don't have the space for it on my laptop. I'm not entirely sure how well my laptop will run it either is the thing. Because that's a pretty intensive game. Like, I can turn the graphics all the way down, but it's still gonna be a lot to ask. But that said, I'm gonna give it a try. Because I want to get back to the game. Partly, I don't know, it's just like... Assassin's Creed is one of those franchises that I just kind of always want to have one going in the background. It's not a perfect franchise, I know, and I'm very well aware that Ubisoft is scummy and a bad company full of very bad people. Mostly bad execs. It's the people at the top that are the issue, not the actual workers, as the people that run the place. But yeah, all that said, Assassin's Creed is still one of my all-time favorite franchises, and it always has just like the right gameplay, in a sense. You know, it has a lot of exploration, it has varying different areas, different places you can go, and different spots of various things you can do in those spots. That last bit is mostly for like the recent games, but you know. And I just kind of always get into this little groove of I want to explore everything I can within a certain area before I move on with the main mission. But I don't do it with, like, every little space. I don't do it with every space I immediately have access to. I do it on the way to whatever mission I have. So let's just say... Okay, I know with... What's the name? I know with Valhalla, the various regions are the different shires. I don't know which ones are adjacent to one another off the top of my head, so I'm gonna make an analogy using actual geography. Basically, let's say I'm in North America. Let's say I'm in the US. You know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna use states. I'm gonna use my home state, Illinois. Now, I have immediate access to every single state in the Midwest. But I'm not gonna explore every single one of those states right away. What I'm gonna do instead is I'm going to explore all of Illinois first, because that's the place I started at. And presumably I'm gonna have a few quests here too. Then we switch things up a little bit. A few quests down the line, I finally have a mission in Wisconsin. So next thing I do is I go to Wisconsin. I don't go straight to the mission. Unless the mission actively stops me from progressing further into Wisconsin, what I'm gonna do, like say I get to Wisconsin and at the state border is where the mission is set, and it's like a set event or something. But after that, yeah, what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna explore everywhere in Wisconsin, and then I'll go back to the next place. Yeah, then I'll go on to do the actual quest. That's kind of how I play the Assassin's Creed games, you know? I like to explore entire areas as the game directs me to. So yeah, it's just, it feels nice. It's there's a lot of exploration. You can get lots of good stuff off of doing this because you get various rewards for doing quests and just opening chests and whatnot. But then, let's say we go back to... But yeah, then there's also, like, I'm not saying it's without its issues either, though. I do want to kind of complete the game before the next one comes about, and I have no idea when the next one's gonna come out. Or what the setting's even gonna be. You know what? Isn't EA happening soon? Not EA, E3. Now, I know E3 has changed a lot over the years. E3 used to be this big showcase that I completely relied on for major companies that make my favorite games to tell me when the next game in said franchise is coming out. Like, E3 was when the first big time I was really interested in E3 was me looking to see news on the next Ubisoft Assassin's Creed to come out, which back then was Revelations. Like, I knew Revelations was a game in production, and that's it. I knew nothing about the game. And then I watched the E3 conference streaming online, and it's like, whoa, this is the next Assassin's Creed? This is so cool. And, like, the showcases have very much changed. Because, like, back then, the way they showcased Revelations was, here's this big game, we'll show you a big cinematic trailer for it. And then, we're gonna show you, like, some, like, 10 minutes of playthrough, or whatever. You know, like, and it's probably a pre-recorded playthrough, but it's still a playthrough. Like, we'll play actual gameplay of the game for a few minutes, and it's not the finished product, you know, the quest line might change slightly, and so you might see a thing or event or whatever in this demo that isn't going to be in the base game, or it's going to be slightly different, or whatever. But point being, this is a thing that they have and will do, you know? They showed the cinematic trailer, and then they showed the demo. Since then, I don't think showcases really do that anymore, do they? Like, some of them prepare various things. Like, some of them have actual proper, like, trailers or gameplay or whatever, like, prepped. But a lot of the times, all they're really gonna have at the showcase for various games is just like, here's the game, here's the name of the game, here's what it's about, and then they just kind of talk about it in podcast mode while, like, the reveal trailer is going on in the background. It's not even a cinematic trailer necessarily. Sometimes it is. Actually, I don't give it enough credit. It usually is a cinematic trailer. You know, E3 is still a big deal, but they don't put as much effort into making sure it's a cinematic trailer, if you get what I'm saying. And then also, like, we don't really get much in way of gameplay demos. We might get a gameplay trailer, which is basically just like a trailer that of various bits of gameplay, and that'll probably play on loop in the background while they have their talk of something, oh, this game has been in development for many, many years, and we've been so excited to finally reveal it to you, yada yada yada. That's kind of how they do E3 these days, isn't it? Alright, so what we got here? Technically, this is better. So, yeah, we can now finally sell the Sailor doll, and it's worth 1,000. But yeah, you know, that was, like, why I first cared about E3, was Assassin's Creed Revelations. Wouldn't that also be the very same E3 where Skyrim was revealed? Because Revelations came out in 2011, which is the same year that Skyrim came out. The thing is, yeah, like, with Skyrim, I wasn't really all that interested in it until... honestly, I don't even know what it was. I guess I saw the trailer for it, or something? But, I don't know, I was just like, oh, it's this Elder Scrolls franchise that I've heard so much about. And people are apparently really like, you know, Elder Scrolls, it's a cool franchise. And I guess the new one is coming out. It's called Skyrim. But that was well after E3. And then, yeah, around a certain point I was like, you know, I'll get the game. I'll get the game for myself, and that changed me. But that's just whatever. That's history. Main point being, E3 is still, like, I get E3's changed a lot over the years, and it's not great. It's not what it used to be. Happy Pride Month to you too, Alpha. Thank you. Yeah, and then, yeah, E3 is just this thing that I always kind of relied on for my gaming news. Not really news, necessarily, but, like, the big reveals of what's coming next, you know? But even then, I didn't even really, like, I'll fully admit, I didn't even really care about what different games were. No, what am I saying? I didn't really care about any games, like, unless it was a game that really caught my eye in the teasers for it leading up to E3. Like, let's say, for example, Ghost of Tsushima. That one I'm, like, and I didn't care enough about it up front to, like, actually actively make sure that I could watch the E3 talk about it. But in general, like, I waited till after, and then I just kind of went onto YouTube to watch all the stuff later. Then, but yeah, like, it'd mostly be Bethesda, and I'm just interested in, like, Bethesda's big IPs. So let's see, the biggest IP from Bethesda that I care about, of course, is The Elder Scrolls. But it was actually the 2015 E3 where I watched the reveal. I live watched the reveal for Fallout 4. And that was fun. That was super exciting. I loved that. I was kind of, you know, I'd played New Vegas. I was kind of into Fallout. Not as much as the Elder Scrolls, but I still get those hankerings of, like, you know, I don't really feel like playing a fantasy game. I feel like playing in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. So yeah, there's that. And yeah, the point being, you know, I was really excited for Fallout 4, and I believe, I actually can't remember, was it even, like, an expectation that they would reveal Fallout 4, or was that just, like, dumped on us? I cannot remember. Okay, now we can use the fishing boat. There we go. Okay, that's what I wanted. And I think that's enough fishing for today, honestly. We've done a lot of progress. We leveled up 5 levels with our fishing. So, yeah, we can do something else with it. What do we do, though? Well, let's first check. Yeah, we could craft a few more Swift Up potions. Why not? Oh, heck, we're up to level 23. I didn't even realize. But yeah, so... Right, potion crafting, that's what I was doing. So, yeah, like, that's kind of what I did, you know, I just cared about the big stuff, like, stuff I already cared about, and if later news would come out, or if, alternatively, I would Like, yeah, I don't know. Point being, oh, you got a thing? Apparently there's a thing I can turn into you. So, you would like to visit my home by only the whimsy of your thoughts. This is teleportation. Perfect. However, before I can grant this request, I must enlist your aid in our struggle against powerful undead forces that have overrun much of the island. Do your part in our struggle and return to me for your reward. Alright, so we gotta kill some undead. Slowly working on that. Okay, fuck it, let's set that as our active quest, because the teleportation is the important one. Yeah, being able to teleport to Patra is so helpful. But first, we gotta craft ourselves a few potions. But yeah, what else is there to say? Oh yeah, no, I don't need the hints. I know how to brew. Swiftfoot, there it is. So, yeah, something I'm not entirely sure about. Oh, watch this, it's gonna be great. Hell yeah. Yeah, something I'm not entirely sure about is like, yeah, is there, like, what are Bethesda's plans for, not Bethesda, Ubisoft, what are Ubisoft's plans for the next Assassin's Creed to come out? Is that something that they're going to reveal at this E3? Or is that something that is much farther down the line? Like, or are they not even going to bother with E3 anymore? Is E3 old news at this point? Like, maybe big companies like that don't really care about E3 anymore because they don't pull in as much numbers as they used to. I honestly don't know. But either way, I'm kind of hoping that we get something this E3. Granted, I don't necessarily want there to be a new Assassin's Creed this year. Partly because I want to be able to catch up. I was pretty much caught up on the franchise with Odyssey. Like, I was running through all the different games. Like, what was the one? Well, I think when Origins was announced, that was kind of when I tried to get back into the game as best as possible. Well, back in the franchise with Black Flag. Because I played 3. I technically didn't even finish 3. But then, yeah, Black Flag was the next big one that I had to do. And that one, yeah, I don't know, I just kind of fell off the franchise until I felt the need to get back into it because I was so far behind. And then I played Black Flag, played through all the other ones, and they were actually kind of pretty short, if I recall. Except Unity felt a bit longer, and same with, okay, what skills do we use? We'll use Grenade. Yeah, Unity was kind of short. No, Unity was kind of a bit long. As for... what was after... Syndicate. Syndicate was kind of about the same length as Unity, but I feel like maybe it was the fact that the game just felt very different. Hello, Chloe. Mwah. Yeah, Unity just... it's just a bunch of crowds, honestly. Thank you, I love you. Yeah, it's just kind of a bunch of crowds. It was fine. But yeah, not really all that interesting compared to some of the other games. Compared to the last one, which was a lot more polished. What was that one? Syndicate. Syndicate was a lot more well polished than Unity was. But yeah, point being, I don't know, do I have a point? I was just kind of just doing a mini review of each of the various Assassin's Creed games. After Unity, no, after Syndicate, that was Origins, right? Origins was right after all those others. Alright, run away from the alligators. Yeah, after Origins... So Origins was, like, very long. Like, I talked about Unity being kind of long. Origins was so much longer than that. And that's, like... Origins was also long, right? Odyssey somehow feels to me like Odyssey was a whole lot longer than Origins was. Maybe it was because I kept kind of getting off and back onto the game, but Odyssey was just so freaking long, and Valhalla feels kind of very much the same way. It's... and it's because I think this is kind of like my philosophy about this, is I think Ubisoft has just kind of fallen for that game dev trap of assuming bigger is better. You know, you want your games to be as big as possible because everyone wants the big fucking game that takes like millions of hours to 100%. And it's like, I don't have the time to do that anymore. But on top of that, I don't necessarily have the patience for it either. Like, you're expecting me to somehow pull together the time and effort and dedication to 100% this game over several months. That's not happening. So, Yeah. But now that I have the hard drive space, I kind of want to see if I can get back into it. I'm hoping that my progress is saved. Because that's going to be so annoying if my progress was not saved. Like, it's gotta be a cloud save, right? It's gotta be. There's no way it's not a cloud save, right? Please tell me that's the case. It's one of these. Okay, no, we're gonna sell that. The long skirts just clip really weirdly when you're wearing a jacket like this, or a coat, I guess. So, but yeah. Because if my saves are not saved, I'm fairly certain they're cloud saved, but if they're not, and I have to go through all that again, like, I don't even know, do I even bother starting over, or is that just kind of like the final nail in the coffin of like, yo, this game was kind of fun while it lasted, but I really don't want to play it much anymore. Because here's the thing, I've got other Assassin's Creed games too. If I really don't feel like I can get back into Valhalla, I have, like, you know, Origins. No, not Origins. I'm not gonna play Origins again. Well, I don't know. Maybe someday I'll give another playthrough, because it was actually a pretty decent game. Like, I enjoyed Origins, despite it being too long. But the one that I felt differently about... Syndicate. I really want to give Syndicate a replay. But also, there's the Ezio trilogy. Well, the thing is, I definitely want to do the Ezio trilogy as a stream series at some point. You know, like, start with 2, jump straight to Brotherhood, then, like, do a bit of 3, not 3, Revelations. You know, just like, oh crap, we attracted the attention of the gypsy. Tonic! Heal! 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 I got a little bit too close there. Not good. Not good. But yeah, if with Origins... Not Origins. With... Yeah, so I want to play through, like, yeah, the Ezio trilogy on stream. That'd be very fun. Yeah. I get a lot of nostalgia from doing that. I'll bet you. Yeah, what was I saying? I don't know. Point being, I guess, is I kind of want to get into Valhalla, or get back into playing that one, and I'm just simply hoping that cloud saves or active, because I don't want to have to play through as much as I had to get to where I was when I last left off, you know? But then there's also just going to be the general issue of finding time to play and being in the mood to play and my PC being able to play it. Those are the 3 main issues. But assuming that all those work out, then I may be well within my ability to play that game soon, you know? Like, get back into it. That would be great, wouldn't it? Alright, my grenades have leveled up. That's good. Let's go to skills. What skill do we want? We haven't unlocked any new abilities, have we? Determination might not be bad. Like, the alternative is upgrade one of these for more damage. I would like a second rank of determination. I don't want to put too many ranks into it though, because I think determination, like, health only recovers outside of combat, right? And so all that really does is it decreases how long I have to wait between enemies that I fight. Which isn't a bad thing. And I guess if technically we're fighting waves of enemies, like, it also means I'll be able to gain more health in between those waves showing up, but yeah, I don't want to focus too much on health recovery. Especially, like, I don't want to undersell myself on the damage skills that I take, you know? How many grenadiers have I got so far? So I still need... I've got 4 of them. But, yeah, so... yeah. Speaking of games and storage and whatnot, on the Switch, I've noticed that The Force Unleashed is on there now. Which, like, fucking hell yeah. There's also Republic Commando. There's sadly not either of the classic Battlefronts. Because those were amazing masterpieces, especially Battlefront 2. Like, the first one was pretty great, but Battlefront 2 was even better. But yeah, it's a little bit of a shame that neither of those games are on there. Honestly, like, I would really like it if they could get some of the portable ones ported over to it, like what was it? Elite Squadron. Elite Squadron was so good. It had its limitations. It would have been so much better if it could have been on console, but it wasn't. Well, it was on console, just not. You know what I mean. It would have been so much better if it could have been on, like, Xbox. But no, it was limited to a handheld, so it had very limited things it could do. That said, it was still pretty damn good. But yeah, what else is there to say, honestly? Yeah, gotta think of the next podcast topic for me to talk about. Pride Month is now Pride Month. It's been Pride Month for me all day today for probably a lot of you, Pride Month has only just started. This is my first Pride Month since, like, figuring out my ace identity. So, throw another label onto the ever-growing pile of labels that I use to identify myself with. But yeah, you know, some cool stuff. Then on top of all that, what else is there to say? I've been in a very commission-y mood lately. Like, part of it is kind of a thirst for commissions. Like, I've gone so long without commissioning various arts and whatnot, and so, like, I want that feel of art when it is, like, when I get that new art. Such a good feeling. And I've been putting off doing commissions for, well, number one, I have a commission that's in the works, but the artist that I've commissioned for it has a bit of a backlog, so I'll probably have to wait quite a while before that commission ever gets done. But in the meantime, I just kind of want to do some other stuff, and I particularly have a soft spot for artists that have, number one, very good prices, and number two, emergency commissions. So I've commissioned quite a few new pieces lately. You will notice on my Twitter, I have, honestly, I should do that for Twitch too. But on my Twitter, I have my new Pride YCH profile pic. And yeah, you know, that's just a thing. Then as for what else? As for other stuff, so let's see. So I've got, what do I have? I've got a few things in the works. Let's just say that. I've got quite a few things in the works. And I'm excited for all of them. Like, basically every single day, anytime I get a DM on Twitter, I'm just like, is that an artist? Is one of my artists done? Like, update time? Did I get an update? But yeah. That is a thing. But I hope you all look forward to it, you know? I hope you all look forward to seeing what I have in the works for my commissions. I guess I don't want to give too much away, because a couple of them are secrets, and one of them might be a little saucy, so I don't want to get, like, too up in about, like, what that's all about. We have a boss. Jeremy. Now, unfortunately, I don't think this boss counts towards my grenadiers. I have to. Oh god, we have Gypsy on us. Alright. Just have to keep spamming the throw button. But yeah, Yeah, these commissions that I've got in the works are exciting. I did miss just like that feeling of like when you have a new commission that's you get updates for. Yeah, Jeremy Coldhand has quite the health bar. I'm hoping for some good loot off of him. He is a level 25 boss. Have we got the best song in the playlist yet at all this stream? I don't think we have. The song that I'm talking about, by the way, is the like Eurobeat or whatever. Come on, Jeremy's almost dead. I think we can just... Okay, I'm not risking it. Tonic. Maybe that was a waste, but hey, we got a skull chest for our troubles. That was worth it. Alright, so what does that get us? The Adder's Den Knives. I don't think we have those. Do we even have any throwing knives? It doesn't look like it. I mean, we got the ones we have equipped, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Adder's Den Knives, cool. Let's see. Okay, we are almost to the point where the Grenadiers... we don't have to worry about it anymore. So, yeah, what next? This Saturday for me, Friday for a lot of you, my stream series with Ian, well, remember the last one ended. That was the Pokemon series, where I finally finished my first ever Pokemon game. That was great. The next series on the list is going to be Fire Emblem Three Houses. That said, we are taking a little interlude in between our two series, Pokemon and Fire Emblem. We're taking a little interlude so that we can play, like, do a one-shot stream, something that we've kind of had in the back of our minds for a while, but have just never gotten around to doing. And in this case, the one-shot that we have planned is... I'm gonna help Ian build a vampire deck. Because that's the thing that we've talked about occasionally, just like off and on, is just like Ian's like, help me build a vampire deck, and I'm like, that sounds like something I could do. Granted, like, normally when it comes to building decks, my biggest thing is just I go to a website and I net deck. That's usually what I do. That doesn't mean I'm bad at building decks. Like, some of my decks, particularly my KNT EDH decks, are all my own crafting, and they all turn out pretty decent, if I say so for myself. I think also my Child of Alara deck is also my own doing. In fact, come to think of it, yeah, I want to say, like, all my EDH decks that I own in paper, at least, and that are precons, I'm pretty sure all of those are decks that I myself just kind of made. That's not to say that I didn't get help from EDHREC, because EDHREC is such a useful site. So many useful resources there. EDHREC, like, I think I have to say, EDHREC is probably my favorite website that I use for deck building, because the thing is, like, sure, you can get, like, an actual list or whatnot of, like, you can just find a list somewhere online, you know, a full list on EDHREC. But what it's mostly really good for is EDHREC just gives you it just gives you, like, these are the cards that people that play this deck like to run, and these cards fit into, like, these various different categories. Like, here's a bunch of artifacts that would work well in this kind of deck. Here's a bunch of, you know, creatures that work well in this deck. Stuff like that. But it's not an actual full list. It's just a list of cards that don't add up to 100. Like, you kind of have to make the decisions of, like, okay, which of these cards that I see on EDHREC are ones that I actively want to play in my deck? Which are ones that I can probably pass up on, maybe substitute for something else if it's, like, something that's too expensive and out of your price range. But yeah, there's just, like, all sorts of things you can do with EDHREC that just makes it a better website, I think, than well, it's just the things that EDHREC does that makes it a website that's, like, more than just net decking with. It's kind of just like you putting your head together with other people. Your hand is not being held all the way, it's just simply being guided, you know? Like, I went to build a Child of Alara deck. What are other players that play Child of Alara as their commander doing with that? You know, like, what are they doing in their deck building? And, you know, you get all these different recommendations. And not all of them, in fact, sometimes none of them, are actually going to be helpful. You do kind of want to look at EDHREC for, at the very least, color fixing. Because sometimes, especially if you're playing a commander that has multiple colors, like, for instance, Child of Alara or K&T, you want as many cards that can get you as many colors as you can. So, like, first, obviously, there are auto-includes. Like, Chromatic Lantern is about as good as color fixing can get. But then, you know, we've got various other things too. We've got, like, Prismatic Orrery, I think it's called. The one where mana color no longer matters. We've got, Prismatic Vista? No. I can't remember what it's called. But there's, you know, point being, there's a lot of different options. And frankly, there's more options than you have card slots, because you only have 100 cards in your deck. And you can't commit all of those to mana fixing. You can't commit all of those to artifacts. And some decks can, but they have to very specifically be decks that are intended for that. Like if you're playing a lands deck with Child of Alara as your commander, then all you care about in your entire deck are lands. And maybe a handful of land support cards, like Life from the Loam, and what's it called? Crucible of Worlds, Mulch. Like, these are all great cards to play in a lands deck. But you still want like 90-something% of the deck to be lands. Maybe not 90 necessarily, but I'd say at least 80% needs to be all lands. And then you simply have a commander who cares about lands or something. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a commander that cares about lands. It could be Child of Alara, a commander that the only thing that it cares about with lands is the fact that it doesn't destroy them when it dies. Like, other than that, Child of Alara is just like a 5-color commander that's got a decent body for what you're paying for it. You know, 5 mana 6/6 with trample is nothing to sneeze at. And the fact that it board wipes when it dies is just very powerful. And then on top of that, we've got the fact that yeah, it's just like damn. Yeah, these undead gypsies deal a lot of damage. Heck, I might not survive this. In fact, yep, we got knocked out. Damn. Just need to kill 2 more undead gypsies. It's fine. Why do people do this? They just, like, get in jail, and then they just go AFK. Like, why? Whatever, doesn't matter. But yeah, it's just like, I completely lost my train of thought. Well, whatever I was talking about is gone to dust. We'll never talk about it again. Let's find another topic to discuss, I suppose. Oh, I think I was talking about EDH. Yeah, whatever. I was talking in circles around that anyway. Slay the Spire. Still one of my all-time favorite games. I think it was just like the last 2 runs that I did of it. Like one run about a week ago, I think, and then one run just like last night or 2 nights ago. Both those runs were Ascensions. Only one of them was a heart kill. I did not get a heart kill with the Watcher, but the Silent, I did get a successful heart kill off of. And yeah, just like, I'm very happy and I impressed myself with how well I did with those. Because like, a heart kill is not an easy feat. You have to get very lucky to get a heart kill in the first place at all. And then, like, on top of that, you also have to yeah, you have to get lucky enough to, like, get the cards and relics that you need just to get past the third act boss, honestly. You just have to be lucky enough to get that. And then, yeah, it's just, yeah, there's a lot of stuff with that. Back in the day, in like my early days of playing that game, I would tell you that my heart kill was like, you know, I scored however much, like, yeah, I would simply say, like, my heart kill was, I got, you know, I was using a poison deck, or I was using a shivs deck, or, you know, I would say stuff like that. I've since kind of come to terms that those just aren't a thing anymore. At least not with how I play the game. Not if you're playing on higher level ascensions. You don't just double down on every single shiv card you see and you're all of a sudden automatically like a fully like intended shiv deck. Usually the way it works is your first act, you take cards that are simply good. Like not necessarily cards that synergize well with other cards that you have yet to see in the card pool. Specifically, you just want cards that are good, solid cards by themselves. Sometimes you want other cards too. You know, like sometimes if you do have a very powerful card, you kind of want to have other cards that complement it. But you don't necessarily want to do doubling down, particularly because, well, if you double down on, like, say, for instance, a shiv build, the shivs you come across, well, like, say the first card you see is a shiv card. And so you're like, okay, I think I might be going for a shiv build now. Also, let's see if I have a way to increase my damage. That's gun damage. That's cannon damage. Looks like I do not have a way to do so. Alright, you simply have to survive. Which is not going to be easy, because these guys do lots of damage. But yeah, yeah, what is next? Come on. Survive, come on, kill it. Oh, we did it. And that's a level up on our grenades as well. Awesome. Alright, we got one undead gypsy left to kill. What does this give us? Increase the area of effect. That sounds incredibly dangerous. I'm gonna equip that. Also, what that means is now we can swap to literally anything else. I'm gonna use the sword for a while. It's been a while since we've used the sword. Let's see, do we want the tempered cutlass? Attack 25, increase crit damage. Or sharp broadsword, attack 34, or tempered cutlass, attack 29. I think I'm fine with the saber. Oh, that's an executioner. It's not even the type of enemy that I was supposed to be going after. This is fine though. That was pretty close, but we got there in the end. Who's the better duelist? Alright, so here's the gypsy. It's kind of dangerous. That's not a gypsy, is it? It's gonna be great. Nope, that's a corrupt stump. This is fine. There's a gypsy here, but this one's a lower level, so we're gonna go for the lower level one. It's a little bit too close to comfort for these alligators, but I'm sure I'll be fine, right? Yeah, they don't seem interested in me. That works for me. We're gonna have to use a tonic here. Wish I didn't have to, but, you know. And tonics are pretty plentiful, so it's not terrible that I have to use one. But still. Right. Just that home and skirt. Alright, sweet. Anyway, let's go back to the main part of the island. And talk to Romany Bev. I guess this would be right. So yeah, what is next on the things that I was saying? I'm just kind of rambling and going on different various topics. Okay, so she just wants to, bury treasure chest on Padres. Now this is not gonna be easy, I don't think. I don't know. It might be. We are approaching 10 o'clock, so I will end the stream soon. Oh, yep, here it is. Here's a dig spot. Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream, but while we finish up this quest, I think this is all I have to do, right? All I have to do is just get the treasure chest. While I do this, I'll just do the wrap up. Okay. Hold the eye in the hands. She's finished. And now we have the way to fast travel. Sweet. So, yeah. That is it. Wrap up time. Well, as I mentioned, Saturday is gonna be the deck building stream with Ian. I'm gonna help them build a vampire deck. Don't know much of how it's gonna go, partly because I want to ask them the questions first, like on stream, because I think that makes the most content off of that. Yeah. Apart from that, yeah, that's the thing you have to look forward to Saturday. Sunday is Fallout again. We just finished last weekend. We finished Old World Blues. And we're gonna jump right into another thing with yeah, we just finished Old World Blues. We're gonna jump right into the next DLC with Honest Hearts. And that will be 2 DLCs I've not done before that will, they'll just be new. And they'll be out of the way and they'll be done. So yeah, I guess all I have to say apart from that is just thank you all so much for coming out. Happy Pride Month. There are various ways you can support me. You know, you can follow me on places, you can do certain things for me. You know, there's, you know, you can sub and have access to emotes. You can leave a tip, which is honestly a little bit better than a sub. You know, there's a lot you can do. Follow me on Twitter. Follow Chloe on Twitter. She's like, last I checked, she was 2 away from 100. Go follow her. Yeah. Here in chat is our raid message. Now as for who we're gonna raid, I'm gonna try and see if we can raid Lennox. Because I haven't actually been to any of their streams recently. Or like ever. I kind of just, yeah. Fuck it, we'll try. We'll try to raid Lennox. If we can't, because some people do like to limit who can raid them, we'll go for either Lily or Chaz. We'll find someone to raid. But yep, down here in chat is a raid message, Haru Hugs, which you can type in manually or copy and paste when we get there, which is what I usually do. So yeah, thank you all so much for coming. See you next time. Bye bye.